Good evening, NAI football fans. This is Corey Thorpe back with another edition of the NAIAFBALL live show, powered by AdCraft Custom Apparel and Merch. Your expert since 1974. Finally got my. I say finally. It's only been like 2 weeks, so not even that. It's been like 10 days since I ordered. Got my Franklin County T-shirt in. Loving it. Looks good. Threw it in the wash. Can't wait to wear it this Friday as the man himself, John Cooper, makes his home debut in Franklin County, Florida, provided that Hurricane Idalia doesn't wipe us off the map. It's the little
Sorry
things.
for laughing at that. I probably shouldn't, but it's the way you said it.
Look, it's Idalia, and you're going to tell this Southern boy that doesn't say Idalia. That is precisely what that combination of letters sounds like. But you didn't hear me talk about Idalia onions or anything like that. You came here to talk about the footballs. So we are going to start up with the paint bucket game just as the season started. Valley City State takes a late lead and holds off Jamestown 23-15.
Yeah, this was an electric Thursday night game to kick off the college football season, the entirety of college football. This was the first game played at pretty much any level. Back and forth, I was very impressed with how Jamestown fought, and their quarterback, Nick Martinez, who is a freshman. Stats won't show it. Kid fought his ass off. I'm going to be completely honest with you. He was scrambling around. He was making decisions. Obviously, as a freshman, you're going to be a bit raw. But I was pretty impressed. He has a very high ceiling. It's very clear that he's a skilled athlete. Just a matter of getting comfortable back there as a youngin'. But Valley City State and their ever-prominent defense led by Riley Gerhart was just too much for them.
Yeah, Gerhart started slow, but definitely found it there at the end, ending the game on a sack of Martinez and just teed off on him on that one. It was just... Look, man, when Riley Gerhart is on, it's a thing of beauty to watch him play. Another hard-fought game between these two. This one a little lower scoring than what we're used to seeing, but I'll take it. It was a fun game, great way to start off the college football season. Kind of our first game on Saturday, or the big one that I wanted to watch. It's Morningside Benedictine, and boy, did it live up to the hype.
Yeah, this is a Morningside squad that you obviously expect to be dominant, even in a lot of these top 25 matchups. But they, dare I say, looked human, Corey. They had two quarterbacks that rotated in during the game. And I don't know, man. It was definitely week 1, week 0 jitters. But wow, it was close.
Lennox Brown with 114 rushing yards and basically what amounted to the walk-off touchdown on a 12-yard scamper. Morningside was still efficient, going 7-14, but man, with those turnovers that the Benedictine defense forced, it's going to get a little bit of it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for us to see. But I mean, thankfully for Morningside. For their fans, at least, you get a couple weeks to you get a bye week this week, then you go and play a couple of your conference foes that may or may not scare you at all, and you get to work out some of the kinks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this team evolves over the season because they have a pretty backloaded schedule, so they'll be able to ease into it.
The next one up really shocked me. I could not believe, given my preseason KCAC divisional picks, what happened to Kansas Wesleyan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evangel. Wow.
Evangel's what happened, apparently, with that defense.
Evangel's what happened.
2.6 yards per play.
Yeah, it was a very impressive showing from an Evangel team who brought a lot back, and we were expecting good things from. But I think even this, for a lot of people who were high on this team, was not expected. Kansas Wesleyan returned a lot of guys, and we're expecting kind of out of the gate to be a top contender. And obviously it's week 0, so they're not out of it by any means. But this was a surprising result, and Evangel showed what's up to the rest of the conference.
Yeah, that Kansas Wesleyan defense or offense very much surprised me with just looking flat and not being able to move the ball. I watched a good portion of this game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch a ton of football this week due to some family needs to take care of. But Kansas Wesleyan just looked kind of flat to me.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said for week 0. Obviously, I feel like that's the asterisk with a lot of these games is that it's so early on in the season that teams are still getting the jitters out, but especially with these top 25 teams, I guess you expect more out of them. I don't know.
Well, if you like upsets, we got upsets. Rocky Mountain holds off Dickinson State. Dickinson State scores with 8 seconds left in the ball game, elects to go for 2, take the win, and falls short. And so all for naught for Dickinson State. They come away 0-1, and the out-of-conference woes for Dickinson State continue.
Yeah, and we talked up this Frontier Conference a lot, but Dickinson State obviously kind of the pride of the North Star. And this is a very, I don't want to say favorable matchup for them, but this was a very even matchup. Obviously, a team on barely in the top 25, a receiving votes team. This is about as competitive as you could get, and Dickinson State was just in the position they wanted to be in and couldn't capitalize in the final moments. But hey, I mean, you have to be able to put yourselves in those positions, and obviously, just coin flip didn't go your way that time.
Yeah, and then the late game, I was shocked at this one, honestly. This one, that one had me flabbergasted. I was thinking very highly of Arizona Christian this year. Had the metrics a year ago to really back it up. Ottawa of Arizona had to put a lot of pieces together. But by Jove, Mike Nesbitt and the boys down in Surprise got it done.
I think they heard us talk about their season preview.
Maybe.
Corey. I think they might have heard us talk about them. There was a lot of question marks around this Ottawa team, not going to lie, with a lot of the pieces that they had to fill and a lot of the spots they had to fill, but clearly have not missed a step in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, we talk about the Sooner and its sometimes a reluctance to have a defense, but boy, Heidi, that Ottawa defense with 3.8 yards per play allowed and 7 quarterback sacks.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts me to even say.
Yeah, that's a good defensive unit, to say the least, against a almost ranked team.
And then take a look at a couple more. I'm going to call a little bit of an audible here. But one of the ones that we definitely we're looking at and want to bring up is Culver, Stockton, Mount Marty. And Culver, Stockton throws the late interception. Mount Marty drives the field in 11 plays, 75-yard drive to take the lead. And got to watch out for the kids from Yankton.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Mount Marty team that's been building for a few years now. They were competitive last year, even with a 3 or 4 win season, might not have shown it. They were close in a lot of games and very close to turning the corner. This might be the year they do it, Corey. Culver Stockton brought a lot back. They were a competitive squad in and out of the top 25 last year, on a lot of people's radars for this season. And I mean, you want to talk about a big road win, or not big road win, big out of conference win. Excuse me. That's how you get it done. That's how you represent the GPAC well.
Yeah, absolutely. Culver Stockton just shot themselves in the foot a little bit with the penalties, 11 for 82 yards. Mount Marty only flagged 5 times for 55. Honestly, you look for the edges in this game in terms of conversions, turnovers, time of possession, stuff like that. This game was even every way you slice it. Both teams had 19 conversion opportunities. Culver Stockton converted 9. Mount Marty converted 8. You look at the turnovers. Mount Marty picked off 2 Culver Stockton passes. Culver Stockton had a fumble recovery and an interception themselves. Just right there. Mount Marty, 30 minutes, 40 seconds on time of possession. Culver Stockton, 29 minutes, 20 seconds. Culver Stockton, 5 yards per play. Mount Marty, 4.7. These two teams, it was just going to be who was going to make the most plays to win the game because it was just so close.
Yeah, and I think it's good to see Mount Marty pulling out these games because I think in years past, like I said, they've been so close, even as a new program. And to see them pulling out these tight games, it's a really, really promising sign.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at our media poll. It's not going to have changed from last week. We felt that it was going to be a little unfair to rank half of the teams on their week 0 performance and then the other half on preseason expectations. So,
Yeah, it's
give us
entirely
a week.
fair. You know who should be looking in on this poll, Corey?
Who's that?
I think the boys in Mitchell. I think the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers will be looking close to this poll because they pulled off the win against the Dakota State Trojans 23-13. The 6-game skid in the rivalry series is snapped. The boys get it done. All-American Adam DeYoung with clutch interceptions. Jamin Aaron running the ball like a horse. Austin Lee absolutely throwing bombs to Cole Holden and Keel Nelson. Tigers are back.
The sad thing is I could have muted him at any time, and I just chose to let him go.
I wasn't going to end the episode without getting something off.
Corey. Oh, I knew. Absolutely. But we'll be right back after a word from our friends at AdCraft. Hopefully this time I won't screw it up like I did last week.
So you want to create and sell custom merch for your team or business. That's exciting, but where do you begin? How much inventory should you order? How do you distribute orders? AdCraft has your answers. Streamline the way you offer custom merch by utilizing our risk-free web store service. We ship directly to each customer, and we have the fastest turnaround in the game. Raise funds for your team or get merch to your employees and patrons. Contact AdCraft today, and let's bring your merch to life.
That's exactly what they did for John Cooper and the boys down in Franklin County. It's what they can do for you. They've done it for us several times. We love what they do. We absolutely love the product that they're able to do. The customer service is unparalleled. Y'all, go set up a web store with AdCraft. It is absolutely a great thing to do for your team. But we have not one. Now we have another video for you. This time our play of the week. And before we go to that, let's highlight a great defensive performance from last week that was hoping to see if I could try to catch on our play of the week. Was not able to. Trayden Davis-Reed, 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a scoop and score, a 46-yard return for a touchdown, plus the pass breakup. Nice day there for the linebacker from Midland. But our play comes from Iowa as Gerald Monroe catches 10 balls for 272 yards, accounting for 63% of his quarterbacks' yardage and 10 out of the 17 attempts completions by the team. 4 touchdowns there by Gerald Monroe. Let's take a look here then at his speed and acceleration numbers here. See it going back. A little bit of a hitch route there. Comes back to the ball and finds his way through the defense. Top speed of 19.3 miles an hour. Max acceleration of 14.7 miles an hour per second. My man was getting it there for the 62-yard touchdown catch.
Wow. It was in traffic, too.
No less, yeah. Thanks to Telemetry Sports for the great view of the game and using that information. Thanks to Graceland for providing the video to us, and love seeing it. Love the big game from the Yellow Jackets there. Thank you also to Connor Darnell Designs, who again does our graphics here with our top 25, and we'll see it real quick. Coming up with a what to watch for, but we showed you the bag tags. I mean, it's great to see those things come to life. We showed off those pictures this week, whether it's a commit edit, whether it's a signing edit. I know I've got my bag tag literally about 5 feet to my left. It's on my computer case. I've got one on my suitcase. Matt's got one on his stuff. Hey, if you got yours within arm's reach. Love it. Connor does a great job. Love seeing that there. Thanks to Connor Darnell helping us out this year. Well, Kyron, with that Mid-American Nazarene isn't ranked after beating Langston. We haven't revoted yet. Of course, Langston wasn't ranked either, so you never know. It was a big performance from Mid-American Nazarene, an overtime win against Langston. Got the field goal there at the end, and then shut down the Lions for another great out-of-conference win. Love what they're doing over there at MNU. But what to watch for this week? We've got 2 days, 3 games each that are going to be just absolutely phenomenal games. Kaiser, first off, at 6 p.m. on Thursday, gets the return visit from D2 Mississippi College.
I mean, Kaiser, we talked about this in the season previews, but just the gauntlet that they're willing to put themselves through is always really impressive. Playing a lot of top tier out of conference opponents, guys at the D2 level, guys at the FCS level. Like they want to prove that they can play, and that they have. I mean, obviously a national title appearance last year. These games pay off for them, and I'm excited to see how they do against upper competition again this year.
I'm also looking forward to Carroll at Montana Tech, if not for any other reason, but that I love Montana Tech Stadium in the mountains. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Love those Frontier teams, especially when there's no snow on the ground. I get like allergic reaction to snow. It just makes me shiver. But Carroll going to Montana Tech, and that's going to be a good one.
100%. And these in-conference games on the Frontier never disappoint. I feel like they're just bloodbaths every time. So getting that right off the bat is going to be fun to see.
And then Louisiana Christian receiving votes in our poll hosts East Texas Baptist, the D3 squad. You never know with these D3 squads. Are they at the top of the D3? Are they at the bottom of the D3? Or has anyone ever heard of them before? No one ever knows. So can LC get a good out-of-conference, convention win?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this one just because D3, like you said, has such a wide range. There's a lot of weird things that can happen in these games. And it's a good test, kind of get out of your element a little bit. You have to travel a bit. I mean, obviously, Louisiana Christian has to travel a lot in the first place. But there's just a lot of interesting things to watch in this game.
We've got some incredible matchups coming up this Saturday. Southwestern and Avila, both teams who got some serious scares this week. Southwestern had a lot of trouble putting away. I want to say I'm going to just bring up my stuff from last week just to make sure. Had a lot of trouble. Ottawa of Kansas comes back and almost takes down Southwestern. Avila down early to Bethany has to rattle off like 6 consecutive touchdowns or some stuff to come back on the fighting Swedes. Man, I don't know about these teams.
Yeah, and I think these were 2 teams we had on our list in our season previews as having a lot of spots to fill, and those holes were very prevalent in their first matchups. So they get to go at it against each other right off the bat, which should be a lot of fun.
Next one up, a 6 o'clock matchup is St. Thomas traveling to FCS Pioneer League Stetson. These games are usually pretty evenly played when you go play a Pioneer League school.
100%. And St. Thomas is another team that just has a massive chip on their shoulder, have a lot to prove. Definitely have the same mindset as their in-conference rival Kaiser. Not afraid to play literally anybody. They want to test themselves early. They want to prove how good they are to the rest of the NAIA.
St. Thomas setting a school record 70 points in their win against Fort Lauderdale. And then at 6 o'clock, a dinner delight here. Number 19, Ottawa of Arizona, plays host to Texas Wesleyan. That's going to be a brilliant little game. I am really, really looking forward to this one. We had that backwards. It's Ottawa at Texas Wesleyan. And I believe that's actually an 8 p.m. game. Sorry, guys. Should have caught that one. That's my bad. But making the trip over to Fort Worth, can Ottawa come off of that rivalry game to win a very important in-conference matchup?
Ottawa's obviously super hot right now after beating Arizona Christian in dominant fashion, but Texas Wesleyan is a team we've hyped up a lot this offseason. This could be a preview for this could be conference championship preview, could it not be?
Oh, absolutely. This could be a conference championship decider, honestly, because now you've got, now with Arizona Christian in the Frontier, you could very well only now have a 2-horse race between the Spirit and the Rams. So this could actually decide this conference here on the first full week of play.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Hey, I'm absolutely here for it. Love seeing it. Let's see. Kyron Lawson is predicting a field goal difference here. Tex West 33, Ottawa 30. Zach Ryherd saying Dakota Wesleyan is America's team.
It's the truth, Corey. It's the truth in the way.
But honestly, America's team has been the Cowboys, and do you really want to be the Cowboys?
No, but we're better than the Cowboys because we won week 1, and they're not going to.
That's a fair assumption. That is a fair assumption. Y'all want to drop some comments, talk about anyone in particular, we can absolutely do that. Love doing that and getting that feedback there. And, we wouldn't be NAIA experts if we couldn't talk about most teams literally about off the cuff.
Yeah, it's true. You probably more so than I, but I will gladly spill my GPAC knowledge onto everybody watching. So,
to be fair, we did preview every single NAIA team this year. So
it's true.
We have
I have an idea.
Some cursory knowledge. That is a fair statement there. But let's talk about the people that make those kind of previews happen. Our patrons. That's going to be Jason Crawford, Ryan, Dylan Gonzalez, Nathan Moore, Dale Norton, Tim Burrow, Julie Lout, Stephen Cutler, Nate Soapbeer, who is high on his Ravens after losing by 3 points to Morningside. Absolutely love it. Julianne Shager, Brian Shake, Steve Speakman, Justin Hoffman, Tyler Pierce, Kyle Gregory, Hayden Ferrigno, Nick Ryan, Justin Cobb, Marty Siebolt, who's got to be happy about what Bethel was able to accomplish there. Ace Well and Jerry Whickle, who is definitely happy with how his Mid-America team played. Fred Christensen, Shirley Labella, Jeremy Vauble, Roger Meyer, whose Marion team is going to be getting going here soon. Bob Boone, Darren, and DSU Cone, the OG. Yeah, Zach, you did. If you missed it, it was about 30 seconds of unmitigated, unstopped D-dub love. Morningside loses their OC and struggles offensively while his new team drops 56. Well, to be fair, Sean, Benedictine is slightly better than Lawrence Tech.
Just a little bit.
And also, to be fair, they were losing to Lawrence Tech at one point as well.
It happens.
It does.
I think there is something to be said for new faces and new programs, and especially what we saw with Morningside, still trying to figure out who's their QB1. I mean, that's not got to
Yeah.
be easy on an offensive unit. So
No, it's not. And I think it's more to do with having to replace a lot of players than it is replacing the OC. Zach had to make sure to skip past Matt. You can watch them out, Marty Love. It'll be fine. You won't die. Mayville State's defense looked much improved. Didn't get to watch a lot of Mayville. Did see that surprisingly Montana State Northern beat Mayville State. And I'm sitting there going, all right, MSU Northern coming off the schneid. Oakley Cop there for MSU Northern, 17 of 24. Neither team had a rushing attack to speak of, though. Mayville State had 24 rushing attempts for 12 yards. MSU Northern had 21 rushing attempts for 46 yards. So we'll see about Mayville there. I'm going to reserve judgment on the Comets. I do like what they're doing, but losing to MSU Northern is not precisely how you want to start your year.
I will say MSU Northern does get guys a lot of the time. I know that they recruit very much where I was from in Washington, that neck of the woods. They do have a lot of talent year in and year out. It's just a matter of if they can piece it together. So they do have the guys to win games like that, to Mayville State's credit. But yeah, especially from the past couple seasons, it's not great. But Mayville State's defense does look improved. I agree, 100%.
Sean's saying anyone who likes Indiana Wesleyan was scared the whole first quarter. You're not wrong. That was not exactly how you wanted to get off to your start of your season there. Zach is just, he will die if he watches Morningside content. Well, we don't want that because we want you to keep watching, but
Zach, as long as I am here, there will be Dakota Wesleyan content. Do not worry.
But no, I agree that there's so many teams that are going to figure it out. Sean, as you pointed out, whether that be Morningside, it's only a matter of time before Morningside starts Morningsiding again. For Indiana Wesleyan, it's only a matter of time before they get it, get their legs back under them. Wait, if Zach is Desmond Howard and Matt is Kirk Herbstreit, does that make me the Sunshine Scooter?
Yeah, I think it does.
If any NAIA teams want to send me headgear, I'm not opposed.
Get mascot heads. That's how we really elevate the production.
Oh, absolutely. Look, man, I will degrade myself for a mascot head.
Oh man, I love it.
I love the comments and chatting with the comments. Those who are patrons got to sit with me on Thursday night and watch the paint bucket game. Thanks to those who came out. That's always a fun time where you just get to sit and watch together and just talk football. Look, man, Corsa went to Florida State. I went to Florida State. We'll take it. The parallels are there. I just have a few fewer interceptions than Corso does. So if this is going to be the first of the watch-alongs we do this season. If you want to see me and, kind of watch along with the game, I will be doing the Thomas Nighthawks exhibition matchup against the Georgia Warhawks this Saturday at high noon Eastern. But after that, I think next week I'll be trying to schedule another watch-along here. Matt, who does? Yes, there is a Patreon, Zach. Patreon.com/NAIFBall. You too can become a patron for just $1 a month. Who does Dakota Wesleyan play You said Hastings?
They play Hastings at home coming up.
Look.
They could start 2-0.
Hastings beat Peru State in
It's true.
overtime.
In overtime. I will give them credit. That's a very good win. But
what do you think? What do you think?
I got to pull for my guys. I'm never not going to pull for my guys. And all I'm saying is after a big win like that, you got to be feeling pretty good. It's the first time they've started 1-0 in a while. So
that's fair.
I don't know, man. It'll be a fun one to watch for sure. I know that there's definitely a get back to be had there after last year's performance. So excited for that one.
Well, until next week, then we will see y'all in the Twitter X. I don't know. I'm going to call it Twitter because I'm an old man who yells at clouds. We will see you on the Twitter timeline. That